It's a pretty gloomy looking day out here, but we have needed it. Our area's had a scorching sun for feels like over a month straight. Everybody's grass is about to catch on fire, so we could use a little bit of rain. You see I got the bus there underneath the tarp because pretty much unless I've got it at my brother's barn, I don't have any way to keep the weather off of it. I'm trying to preserve her best I can, but even without the sun, if the mail comes as planned, it's gonna be a good day because I got a Protronix Igniter 1 SVDA distributor coming for the bus. That's kind of where I keep my tools for now. What you say, Gyps? What you say, girl? You gonna help me with this distributor? All right. Well, what I'm talking about as we move in, this distributor here, 009 style, it's been running a little bit hot, and you know, it's got the usual flat spot that you hear about on the 009s, especially with these dual carbs. I don't mind that so much, but if she's going to be getting hot and risky to run on the road, it's time to change her. And what I'm going to try is the SVDA. So it's going to have the vacuum on it. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But for now, underneath this cap, which we'll show later, it's still got the points and the condenser, the old technology. So the new Protronix is going to come with electronic ignition. So I'm going to not have to worry about setting the gap on my points anymore or condensers going out. But I've never ran the single vacuum or any vacuum. But right here I have the EMPI EPC 34s, and what I believe is a vacuum port right down there. We'll look into it a little bit later on, and I've ordered some hose. I'm gonna hook it up probably to a T off of both carburetors, but I'll be anxious, so I might just hook up the one on the left side first and give her a run and see how she goes. But for now, we're gonna check to see if I can even support the new distributor. So we're gonna look at my coil. We're gonna ohm it out. This distributor I have coming needs at least 3 ohms to the coil. Haven't checked it in a while, so we'll do that. What I've got to do is unplug the positive and negative wires coming to the coil. Okay, looks like they're all off. Come up here, where'd my ohm meter go? Here she is, the cheapie. She works good though. We're gonna set it to ohms. We're gonna touch these 2 wires together, make sure we have no resistance, and hopefully see that we get 0. Yep, we zeroed out on ohms, so I know the test is going to be good to go. Let's see. I don't have any free hands yet, so I'll try to balance this up the best I can. And see if that'll give you guys a shot. All right, I don't have a good camera yet, so I had to just make the connection and read the meter on my own, but it did go up to 3. So the ignition coil is showing 3, which tells me when the Protronix distributor gets in today, I have a qualified ignition coil, and we'll see about putting her in and let you know how it goes. Okay, here it is. We got the Patronix flamethrower. Just came in the mail. I'm gonna open it up, take a look at it, which I've already done, and I'm gonna point out a couple of things that you know, might be of some concern, might not be. Like I said, being pretty new to VWs, I'm not very well versed in some of the nuances yet, but I'm learning as I go. So the first one we're going to talk about, not really a big deal, but you know, look at that sticker. It's on there a little bit crooked, to say the least, and you know, it's just a pet peeve. You see them when you're doing your research and all the pictures, and the stickers are straight, and I'm not one to just slap stickers up everywhere, but when I do, I appreciate a little bit of care being taken, and a straight sticker would be nice, but we'll live with that. So when I picked it up, there was a little bit of rattling going on, and again, I don't know if this is a big deal, but you know, that kind of play there seems gratuitous to me. I do understand that this is going to lock you in, and seems like, you know, it'll do its job, but I'm not sure about that amount of play. Now, the last thing is, the ones that I saw, the O-ring here. Okay, so that one looks a little more rinky-dink than what I had been seeing. It was a bigger, fatter O-ring that kind of took up that whole area. There didn't seem to be any room for movement in there, but that'll probably seal up just fine. We'll see. Just some things I wanted to point out to you. One final thing, and they did mention this on their website. There is no mark for the #1 cylinder anywhere on the lip. And like I said, they did mention it on their website, in fact, in great detail, and they said if there is one there, to even ignore it. They don't want you to be misled into thinking that notch will indicate where the #1 cylinder is. I've heard of some people's coming with the notch and some without. I got one without, but that's okay. We'll put her on top dead center and we'll see how it works. Made it here. We're going to let her cool down a little bit before we go touching all the hot parts. As soon as she cools down and we get a chance, we're going to remove this 009 and we're going to put in the SVDA. Everything's still a little bit warm in there, so like I said, when she cools down, we'll get started. Perfect angle or cameraman. I'm not going to be able to set it up and let you watch me work, but I can show you what I've done so far. That's the 009 we spoke about. It has been pulled out, and Okay, the new SVDA Protronics is in there. One tip was this: take off with the old 009. Don't loosen this and then try to take off the 009, leave this on, and then slip it in. Loosen this, leave this tight. The bolt that is back there that holds it all on, undo that. Pull the whole 009 unit with this coming out with it. It's easier. The reason you're doing that is you're going to take it off the 009 and put it on this one before you slide it down in. So what happens is you got to make sure this is bottomed out. When you put the new one in, it'll go down and it'll come to a stop about this far. You just rotate the cap, push a little more, and it'll line up and drop all the way. The big difference here visually is this rotor. I'm on top dead center right now, and with the 009 top dead center, this rotor pointed out to the 5 o'clock position. That is no more. The rotor actually now points to the number 1 cylinder over there. That's where we are so far. Here's the 009 that we took off. If you remember, the concerns I had earlier was when I picked up the Protronics SVDA, it had a bunch of play down here. And I also mentioned that I'm new to Volkswagen, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. Because when I pulled this one out, there's a lot of play here too. That's 2 of them, so I'd say that's probably a normal deal. The O-ring though, see how much fatter this one is? There's no gap, but it's also flatter. So for all I know, this O-ring could have looked like the first one that I showed you that came on the Protronics, and this is after it's been heated up and squished for whoever knows how long. But the good news about having the Protronics electronic ignition in there, you know, I talked about the vacuum advance, but really it was about the electronic ignition. So I won't have to worry about this condenser going bad. I won't have to worry about these points going bad or having to gap them, which can be something that has to be done from time to time. With this one, there's no condenser to go bad. There's no points inside there. It's an electronic ignition. I've already driven it. I've got the advantage of this vacuum advance now. Right now it's running here. I'll show you a better picture, but it goes to the vacuum port on my carb back there. So I already took it for a test run and I could immediately tell a difference. One of the things you have to make sure is your carb strong enough to pull a vacuum that would engage this vacuum advance? So what I did is where that vacuum port was, I don't have a vacuum gauge, but when the hose wasn't on there, put my finger on it, and at idle there was no vacuum. I revved it up a little bit with my finger on it, and I could feel it pulling a vacuum in on my finger. So it felt pretty strong. I'm confident that it's enough vacuum to pull this and advance my timing in the lower ranges now. And I could definitely feel that on the test drive after I put it in. It pulls a lot smoother and distributes the power more easily and smoother in the lower RPMs. So before it was kind of a hang until the RPMs got high enough, and then you could sense the timing advance. Now as soon as you step on the pedal, nowhere near like a fuel injection or anything like that, you can sense the smoother throttle response and a little bit more punchy in the lower RPMs. I could definitely tell. If you've driven one with a 009, you just have to know the feeling. And then if you switch over to one of these, and you're getting proper advance here, you'll definitely be able to tell the difference. What I'm still going to do is, if you see I got this one going to the 1 carb, well, there's a carb over here that's lonely. He wants to advance the vacuum too. So I'm gonna hook up to the vacuum port in there. I'm gonna tee those 2 carbs together, and that way I have a vacuum pulling off of 2 carbs. And like I said, in this case, I think the 1 is strong enough to do it, but you know, just for symmetry and keep this carb from getting lonely, I'm going to tee them up together, and then tonight on the drive home, I'll see how that feels. But definitely, Protronics, flamethrower, SVDA. Replaced my 009 with it in the bus, Roxanne, and she's loving it. Went for a test drive, like I said, and she definitely showed that she appreciated the upgrade. So if anybody's wondering about trying it out, I would definitely recommend it.